So I don't know if you guys saw the thing in Forbes that was posted yesterday. They made a comic strip specifically to make fun of us. And attack of the short sellers. Oh, so they made kind of like this, I don't know, Ripley's Believe It or Not type cartoon. Mythical beasts of the night. Or how meme stock investors went culty. So this dude, Brandon Codin, he's written all sorts of like anti-retail investor articles, bad-mouthing every single stock you can imagine that has been shorted beyond belief. To paraphrase Mark Twain, it's easier to fool people into believing they'll make piles of money than it is to convince them they've been fooled. Here's the story of how stock investors who smoked so much hopium they lost their shirts and their minds. Welcome, patriots. Our story begins in 2014 in a parched corner of West Texas called the Oro Grande, where a company called Torchlight spends $3.3 million for a patch of land hoping there's oil. Torchlight paid $20 an acre. The seller paid $7 an acre a year earlier. The Oro Grande's neighbor is the Permian Basin, is the biggest oil-producing region in the U.S. There's Oro Grande right there, the tip of West Texas. The Oro Grande isn't. Fun fact, Torchlight started as a strippable company. Well, it didn't start as a strippable company. It was a strippable company, and then they got their ticker and turned it into Torchlight ticker because they want to be on the NASDAQ. Not if there's anything wrong with that. The pump. How has Torchlight attract investors' money into a patch of land that produces nothing but debt? Step 1. Merge with another public company, Metamaterial, June 2021. Well, they were producing oil prior to that, but then COVID hit and oil prices went negative, and then all of a sudden they couldn't sell oil to make money, and the stock price got hammered by short sellers. But they didn't mention that part. They just started in 2021. And the stock will bump. We'll get a bump in short sellers. We get screwed. Short sellers make money when shares go down. Fun fact, short sellers aren't treated well. You can talk all day about how much you love a stock when you own it, and that's okay. But when you talk about how stock is overvalued, when you short it, that's called market manipulation. Go figure. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Step 2, invent a fun new way to buy in. New name, MMTLP, new look. Oh, they invented a new way to buy in? Let's see here. He's cute. He's nice. He has sweet crude for hair. Yeah, okay. So MMTLP was not created by the company. It was created by the short sellers. GTS, Ari Rubinstein's company, and Canaccord Genuity decided to take the metamaterial preferred share, MMAT1, and make a market for it. So they filed a Form 215 with FINRA. Say, hey, we want to make a market for this thing. And FINRA's like, okay, you need proof the company's okay with this. And so they falsified documents. They forged documents as if they were from the company itself and used a whole bunch of documents from 2014 and submitted that to FINRA, saying, yeah, the company's totally cool with it. And FINRA was like, then you've made a market. Your new ticker shall be MMTLP. And it started trading. And then people at Metamaterials were like, what? This isn't supposed to be trading. So they contacted FINRA like, hey, we didn't agree to this. We don't want this trading at all. And FINRA's like, it's kind of too late because it is. So tough shit. So they're the ones who created the ticker. The company itself did not create the ticker. They did not want the ticker to happen. They didn't want to trade at all. They wanted to be held by those who bought it and not trade. It was FINRA and GTS and Canaccord Genuity using falsified documents and outdated documents who then created a market for it. So Brandon Cocklip, whatever your name is, you already fucked up right here. Boom. You messed up presenting factually incorrect information in your touching little comic strip here. So, yeah. I wonder who paid you to write this. Was it Forbes who paid you to write this, or was it perhaps somebody from GTS or Canaccord Genuity who paid you to write this? I wonder. I mean, it's really fancy. All his fancy art and everything. So he's cute, he's nice, he has sweet crude for hair. Step 3, hire a sympathetic geologist. Yes. To tell you the $3.3 million patch is worth $9 billion. Well, it's actually probably worth more than that because they had proven reserves of 3.5 billion barrels of oil and 6 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. And so that's what they have there now. Okay. Might as well go big, baby. $9 billion, we're going to be rich, says all the idiots in the crowd. Oh, yay. Oh, many small trade-at-home investors, many. Step 4, use social media and investment websites to persuade people they're part of something bigger. You have to buy MMTLP to screw Wall Street short sellers. Oh, look at that. He's got the crystal ball. They're probably making fun of me right there. Time for an explanation. We couldn't get Margot Robbie in a sudsy bath like they did in The Big Short, so we settled on the sudsy bathtub. Here we go. Short sellers bet against the stock by borrowing shares for a fee and returning them when the price drops, pocketing the difference. Just try booking Miss Robbie for a gig like this after Barbie. Oh, haha. Naked short sellers, boo, don't borrow shares. They agree to sell them, but they may not have them when the time comes to settle this trade. This is cheating, also illegal. Which brings us back to the Oro Grande. Remember the Oro Grande? The calm of the Oro Grande, where no oil rigs disturb the peace and the clouds and the skies are not cloudy all day, except there's 5 wells currently producing. They hooked up the pipeline and they're now shipping oil out of the Oro Grande. So again, factually incorrect. But here's the thing. Investors thought they knew better. By November 2022, MMTLP's implied value based on share price and number of shares trading was $2 billion. Whoa. All investors had to do is believe that what clearly wasn't true. Oh my goodness. The slump. Flying high, MMTLP's executives saw a chance to cash out. Some might call it dumping, but we never would. You can get in big trouble for dumping stock after pumping it with a $9 billion valuation. The plan was to replace MMTLP with NextBridge Hydrocarbons. It's the same company. They didn't replace anything. They just changed the name because it was a subsidiary of Metamaterial, and then it became its own standalone company. So they said they were doing it to foil short sellers. Actually, they didn't. They said they were doing it because they didn't want the stock to trade and wasn't supposed to trade. That meant MMTLP would have to die. The execution was set for December 12th, 2022. Oh, yes. It was the execution and not just making it so the stock didn't trade anymore because that's what they wanted in the first place. All this is called financial engineering. But just 2 days before MMTLP was to die, FINRA, Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, an agency that bosses the market, mysteriously halted trading. 64,000 investors. Hey, we got hosed, because they did. The same people who bet on the Oro Grande now said FINRA was protecting evil naked short sellers, because they were. When they said there was an extraordinary event that was about to happen, they knew it was the fact that the level 2s showed to be 50 trades before the stock was trading in the thousands of dollars when it became close only. All right, fun fact. FINRA eventually said it halted MMTLP trading because it was afraid investors would get really hosed. Yeah, that's what they said, but they're wrong, and we all know it. And if a court case can go through, it'll be proven. Fun fact, FINRA told employees to work from home that week due to the violent threats they received. Yeah, that happens when you screw over 64,000 investors, right? You're bound to have some people who are like, fuck you. For MMTLP investors, naked short sellers were the perfect scapegoats. They truly believed, check, they were the little people. Naked short sellers are big shot Wall Street. We're pro-America. They want American companies to fail. We're ordinary folks. They're secret plotters. Yes. Justice, no way. In July 2023, the SEC finally did something about MMTLP mess. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the market's top cop, identified the villains, the possible villains. Notice they put the possible in there. The MMTLP executives. Oh, investors couldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe it. Once again, they thought naked short sellers were getting away with destroying America. And has anything happened to the MMTLP executives? No, because they didn't do anything wrong. Still, a false narrative gets pushed. Hey, everybody, I don't have your MMTLP money. The cat does. Oh, lessons learned. Meme stock rebellion was supposed to be about outsmarting Wall Street, finding value in companies the big traders had written off. For example, GameStop. Instead, it's about revenge against a make-believe enemy invented to distract them. Yes, because Concord Genuity and GTS don't exist. And they never, ever forged documents and submitted them to FINRA to create a market for a stock that was never supposed to trade. Right? In the end, 64,000 investors lost millions, with most of them still swearing it was non-existent naked short sellers who robbed them. Meanwhile, NextBridge, MMTLP's successor, is talking about selling more shares to fund the search for more oil, of course. Here we go again. So, and there's the art team credits. So Bob Ivory, Brandon Kokadudin, can go suck an egg. Yes. So it's going to repeat again. Oh no, it's just that first one all over again. So I sent this off to several members of Congress who signed the MMTLP letter, being like, hey, you might want to look into this because these guys are printing falsehoods, like stuff that's factually incorrect, blaming the victims, the people who held the stock, and basically saying that GTS and Concord Genuity had nothing to do with any of this, even though they're the ones who forged documents and submitted outdated documents in their 215 form in order to create a market for a stock that was never meant to have a market against the company's wishes. They're basically saying the company created this. They did not in any way, shape, or form. So suck a big fat dick, Brandon Cockadin. Got enough cocks in your name, you can go suck them all. So there you go. That's what I have to say about that. Blah. So yeah, there's your MMTLP update. They're worried because last week 78 bipartisan members of Congress signed a letter to FINRA and the SEC being like, hey, your answers aren't cutting it. We're looking at what the data we have in what you are saying does not fit. You did not halt that stock to protect the investors because you did not protect anybody when you did that. And your claims are bullshit. So let's get to the bottom of it. Give us the data we need to finish our investigation. So this to me says that the big boys are panicking. That's why they have to create fantastic. I mean, it's fantastic artwork. They did a great job with the artwork. They did a fantastic job with it. Much better than the writing, that's for sure. So yeah,